I think I have it.
Do I?
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
that's what's up. Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Wow.
I literally have done probably 8 to 10 of these, like in the past 1 minute, and it's every time I go on, I'm like, there's literally only like three things that you can do, and I'm doing them
This
all
feels
wrong.
like a parade. This is the biggest accomplishment probably of my month.
Seriously, I know it's hard to get on this pace. The world, Cecily Strong here. Thank you so much
Thank you for
for
having
joining
me.
us. Oh my gosh, we're so thrilled to have you on. We are huge fans of yours.
Likewise.
Just in general. I remember meeting you in the tunnel. I think it was Pasadena.
Yep, yeah.
You came to one of our games right after the World Cup.
Dressed as a lunatic,
Yeah, dressed as
as
a Looney
usual.
Tune, the
Yeah.
only way to come. But we are so very thankful to have you on.
I'm glad
Um,
to be here.
we have been starting these with like a moment of grounding. And as I've said every time, I'm getting a little bit better. There's a couple other people in our company that when we have our live events, they do them and they're like a million times better than I am. But I will do my best to do our moment of grounding. So we kind of start with just closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths. So, and Sue is in the background. Just kind of feel your surroundings. Let your feet hit the floor. Let the sounds around you just kind of fade away. Deep breath in and out. Okay. Welcome back. Ready for our conversation?
Ready to do it.
Yes. So I don't know if you know this about Re, but we've done a few what we call these reset the table events. It's really for us. It's all about gathering, bringing people together from all different walks of life and industries, and just having some meaningful, sort of provocative conversation and hearing people out and getting that different perspective. But then really kind of like arming people with some energy going back out. So unfortunately, we cannot be gathering right now at all. So we've moved it onto IG Live. And we talked the other day in preparation for this. And I think during this time, it's obviously an uncertain time. It's a stressful time for some. People are like, in a light sense, wondering like, what the fuck am I going to do with all this time? And then people in a heavier sense are having to deal with a lot. And your vulnerability and your willingness to just sort of speak openly about this moment that you're in, especially being who you are. I think we normally know you as someone on SNL, as someone who's a comedian who entertains us, who brings this joy to our lives, but also you're a full person who's dealing with a lot. So just tell us a little bit about your experience through this and how you're doing in this moment.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, I think it's important to note, I was like, I'm going to do my table is my bed because I've been
Yep.
in bed a lot. So I just wanted to point that out. And
Perfect.
then I thought, so we talked and we had a really great conversation. And then last night I emailed you guys because I found out that a friend of ours at work had passed away of COVID. And it was like, I said, I'm absolutely still willing to do this as long as you guys are okay with that, because it was like, I know there's so many people, because it was like, I remember I saw like a little news blurb. It was the highest number of deaths. It was 700 or something that night in New York. And it was like, oh, Hal was one of the 700. And I'm just one of the people grieving Hal. And it was like, so it's weird that it's like every time feels like it's kind of standing still and we can't do much and everything's moving really slowly. But then I felt yesterday that, wow, but we kind of have to grieve really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just thought, it was really nice and great of you guys to still, I thought it was important to be here and be like, let myself, like, here I am and I'm sad about Hal. But I still have to be here and I'm glad to be here and talk with you guys, and it means a lot.
Well, I
Um,
mean, it means the world for us that you know, still wanted to come on, but I think it touches this sort of bigger feeling, or this bigger, I guess, fallout from COVID right now, is that first of all, I think there's multiple traumas happening to people. Some people are getting really sick personally and they're having to deal with that, and they're
yeah,
scared and they don't know, and maybe they have insurance, maybe they don't, maybe they know the hospital system, maybe they don't. Then there's people who are having family members or loved ones or partners or friends getting really sick and you can't go see them. And so
right,
that's kind of a trauma. And, you know, some people are having financial difficulties or they're having whatever it is. And then we're isolated.
right.
And a lot of people are isolated alone or with very few people. So I feel like that is just a bigger conversation that is being had maybe less. I think a lot of people are trying to find ways to be like, oh, what am I doing? You know, spend my time at home on Instagram. And like, I'm doing that too. And I've been
Right.
really lucky. I haven't, you know, had any of those really serious personal tragedies, but I'm just wondering ways that you are, I guess, finding ways to grieve and, you know, sort of literally and figuratively taking that next step kind of forward, and how can people maybe look to you or just kind of band together to continue to grieve but also take care of themselves in
Yeah.
turn.
Well, I think taking care of yourself is a big one. I mean, it's really been a day by day for me. I was in New York um, after being exposed. I mean, someone I was really close to had it like very early on, couldn't get a test, so just had to assume he had it. And I quarantined for 14 days and was panicking, like with a thermometer in my ear alone, with, you know, having to check. And I have anxiety, and it's like anxiety symptoms are similar to pneumonia. So being so scared and being scared of the water in my pipes, and it was like, it was just really traumatic, sort of. And uh, going through that. And then there was another girl. Then I could help this other girl whose mom was sick. And it was like, at least I can be a voice on the end of a phone and tell you, here's
Mm-hmm.
articles that helped me to read. It's just, there's a lot of fear and anxiety. And then I started writing, and I wound up, I lost my cousin in January to glioblastoma, and I hadn't had the time really to grieve him. And I've written a lot about him over this break, and it's been, that was actually how I've been sort of able to deal with this time, um, to sort of like process that grief, because like he's a very good example of living with something scary and but still living. So I'm kind of using him as my role model right now. He
Mm-hmm.
fell in love during that time. He danced,
Oh.
he sang, he, you know, so it's kind of um and it's like the first time I've been able to open up and to myself really, and about him. But I think taking care of yourself is a big thing, and being patient with yourself and being patient with others. And I think there was an article, some chef, and it was like, empathy is what will get us through this. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that was really spoke to me.
I
And I
totally
want,
agree.
because I think like people want to laugh, and I get that. And I'm like, trust me, I want to make you laugh, and I
Yeah.
want to be in a place that makes, that I'm able
Mm-hmm.
to. And so it's like, I have to be patient with myself so I can be in a place where I can do my part, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that we were kind of thinking about for this conversation is the idea of renew. And, you know, we're obviously at some point we will come out of this, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like what drains you and then how do you counteract that? And depending on where you are in your process as a person, you might be drained in the moment, which means you need a little more from someone else, or you might be kind of on the other side of things. And now, how do we start thinking, what can we bring for other people? How can we show up in their lives? How can we, show them empathy? Sometimes people just need to know that someone, feels them, that someone, even though they can't come over or say it, they can kind of give them just that little bit of something that will put them on the first step of beginning to come out of this. And I think a lot of people are feeling, it's hard. It's like there's like these physical things compounded with these mental things happening right now, where you're sort of physically confined to your space, and you might feel mentally or emotionally
Yeah.
confined to a certain space. And sometimes it just takes that person breaking through and saying, you know what, I'm in an okay place right now, and how can I be of service to you, so we can all come out of this kind of as a whole. And you basically do this for a living. You bring joy to people. You bring, that sort of thing that they can count on every day. And this just might be a time where we need to take care of you a little bit. So I
Well,
just
you have.
appreciate so much your vulnerability in all of this.
I mean, it's just, even you guys sent a message, and it was like a kind of a low day, and it was like, even you reaching out was like, wow, that's so sweet for them to check up on me. And little things like that, I mean a lot. It just, kindness goes a long way right now. And I
Mm-hmm.
think even if that's all you have to give, that's a lot to somebody that maybe you don't realize.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like maybe that's our answer to, how do we renew, and how do we take the next step, is just maybe you're giving us a step to someone else.
Yes, and about being drained, I mean, I'm the worst. I get drained easily. I'll let myself be bothered by so much bullshit that I shouldn't. And again, this is where I'm like using my cousin as my North Star, kind of. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I absolutely don't have the energy right now. Now, and it's like, I don't know where these people are coming from. It's like, add on to the trolls, people who are also scared and coming from a weird place. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
even more. So I just really have to focus on really, like, drowning, not listening, and
Yeah.
just staying focused on being kind to myself and being kind to others. And I get to do this today with you, which means a lot.
Oh, we love having you. We
My
love having you.
heroes. I get to talk to my hero.
We love having you. Yeah, I think that's the message for today. It's either like, if you're not in a position or have the emotional energy to reach out to someone, then be kind to yourself and
Yeah.
show that love to yourself. And if you do have that energy to reach out and extend more, that's the currency that we have in abundance, that we can all give, give, give. We won't be waiting on those stimulus checks for the kindness and
No.
for the abundance that we have. We have the ability to print that as many times over as we want. So from our Reing family, we're extending that to you. We're so thankful and appreciative that you were on here. Rest in peace to your amazing friend. I'm
Hell,
sure
yeah.
not only the SNL family, but the world at large will miss
He's
him so
in he's
much.
in a rock and roll outer space
Yeah,
hippie heaven somewhere.
he's intergalactic living
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
For sure. Well, thank you so much
Thank you
again.
so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you on the other side of this.
Yes, me too.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna see you play again.
Yes, sometime.
Dressed up like an asshole. Me, not you.
Exactly. Cool. All
All
right. Well,
right.
take care, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.